Hi students, welcome to ERC Scheduling Night. I'm Casey. I'm one of the counselors in the Office of Student Services in the College of Engineering. We're just going to go over some information that's going to help you with scheduling for the spring semester. Your peer mentor is also there to help you. If you have other questions after the presentation, you can ask a counselor in UCFY or one of the engineering counselors. And I'm sure you've seen these flowcharts before, but we're just going to use the mechanical engineering one as an example right now to kind of go over some key points in case you haven't seen one or forgot what those symbols mean. At the top corner, you're going to see what your catalog year is. 2019 to 2020 is an old version. If you just started this year, you will see 2020 to 2021. The arrows mean that that is a prerequisite, so you can see Chemistry 1201 is going to be a prerequisite to Chemistry 1202. If you see an arrow that is a dotted line, that means it's a co-requisite. That means you can take that course at the same time. That is nothing, really. That is just a little hump to make sure it's going over the line so you can see where it follows. So CM 1020 jumps over that line and moves all the way down to going to Intro to ME Design and then to ME 3633. This is showing you one course and everything you need to know about that course that's being offered besides the course description. So you can see that it has an F, an S, and an M in the top left-hand corner. That means that the course is going to be offered in the fall, the spring, and the summer. The M means summer. The 1 means that it is just 1 credit hour. And then you have the course number and the course description. The greater the proficiency, sometimes you might see a letter C up in that corner. That means that you will need a C or better before moving on to the next course. This document is called a degree audit, and so I'm just going to go over what some of these symbols mean so that you can know how to read your degree audit to see how far along in your program you are. It tells you the date that you printed it, your catalog year, so make sure it matches that 2020, 2021. Tells you your overall GPA from any university that you've had any credit in, including LSU. This is your major GPA, so you can see at the bottom, for this one it's petroleum engineering. It says the average computed on all PET-E courses. You'll have something similar depending on whatever your major is. Your English requirements, math requirements. If you have fulfilled everything in each of the sections, you will see an OK at the top corner. If you have not fulfilled it, then you see a no. And if you are in the middle of fulfilling it, you'll see an IP for in progress. The in progress will also have a little pound sign or hashtag next to it that shows that you are currently in the course. If you see a plus sign, that means that it's done. And if you see a minus sign, that means that it has not been met yet. The College of Engineering has certain classes that require a C or better, depending on what your major is. For example, computer science majors will require a C or better in Math 1550 and 1552, as well as English 1001 and 2000, and certain CSC prerequisite courses. You're also going to have a science sequence C or better requirement. Construction management will have very similar courses that you need C's or better in. They also require a C or better in your physics courses and certain prerequisites. So again, depending on your major, that will determine which physics you end up taking. All students end up taking Physics 2110 unless you are a construction management major, then you end up taking the 2001. That's the non-calc based physics. If you are in civil engineering, environmental engineering, or industrial engineering, you're going to move from 2110 over to 2112. If you are in the other majors, you're going to move from 2110 to 2113. And if you are petty, you're going to end up taking both 2112 and 2113. This slide is just showing you the sequence of the math courses. Some of you are only really going to end up taking Calculus 1. You don't really need to start with algebra or trig, possibly because you already received credit from your ACT scores. If you are starting in algebra, the next step will be trig, and then from there you can take the ALEX exam, and you need to get a 76 or higher on it to be able to take calculus. And then from there you'll hop into Calc 2. If you want kind of a prep course and you don't want to take trig because you don't need it and potentially you already have credit in algebra or don't have credit in algebra, you can take Math 1023. And that's a little bit of algebra, a little bit of trig, and people think it's a good prep course for calculus before you take the ALEX exam. Construction management has a little bit different route. With their new program, their catalog year, it requires trigonometry and business calc, which is going to be Math 1431. Calculus will also count, but you really only need 1431 and trig in this new catalog year. This is just some information about the ALEX exam that you'll need as a prerequisite before you can schedule calculus or 1530. What 1530 is half of calculus. Some of you may be in 1550 right now and you might be struggling. If you're thinking about dropping it, you can actually add 1530 as a Session C course this semester and then take the other half in the spring, which is 1540. You will need the ALEX exam to take 1530, 1550, or 1551. You're going to need a 76 or higher if you want to take the basic calculus, and you will need an 81 or higher in order to take the honors version. It's $25, you can take it online, and it takes about 24 to 48 hours for it to show up in the system, but once it does, you will be able to schedule the courses that you need. So the College of Engineering has 3 admissions requirements. One is that you need 24 or more semester hours of credit. You also need a C or better in calculus, or a C minus counts. If it's construction management, then it needs to be a C or better in 1431. You need a 2.0 GPA, and if you are a petroleum engineer major, you need a 2.8 GPA. Until you meet those requirements, if you're still a freshman, you're going to be in the College of UCFY. Once you meet those requirements, you will automatically roll into the College of Engineering. If you are not a freshman any longer, so if you've passed your 2 first semesters and you still don't meet the admissions requirements, that's okay. You'll just go to be housed in what we call UCAC, the Center for Advising and Counseling. You will just kind of hang out in there. That's going to be where you are housed until you meet the requirements, and then you will be admitted to engineering. And once you're in there, that's going to be your senior college. We will be your specific advisors until you graduate. Since many of you have not scheduled your own classes before, this slide is about how to do that and when to do that. You can go to MyLSU, go to Registration Services on the left-hand side, and then click Schedule Request. You're going to pick the LSU campus, and then you'll pick the semester, so you'll end up picking Spring 2021, and then you'll hit View Schedule Request. If it's not your priority time to make your schedule yet, you will see student may not register before, and then it'll give the date that your scheduling will open. Once your priority opens, you'll be able to schedule your classes. You can also look in the schedule booklet or the catalog to get a little bit more information about the courses you want to schedule. As you're scheduling, please make sure you understand what your financial aid requirements are if you have any. Many will require a minimum of a 2.0, but some might require a higher GPA. Some may require that you are full-time or a certain amount of courses. Withdrawing from a class can end up potentially affecting your financial aid or scholarship. If you have any further questions about the specifics of each of your scholarships or financial aid, you'll need to check in with the financial aid office, and it has their address and phone number and email down there. If you need to drop a course after the 7th day of class, it will show up as a W on your degree audit. You have a certain amount of withdrawals allowed per certain amount of credit hours. So your first 60 credit hours, you have 3. Your next 60, you get another 3. They don't roll into each other, so if you don't use them, they go away, and then you just start over with another 3. And then once you hit 120 credits, you just have 1 W allowed after that. As long as you're a freshman, if you need to drop a class, you can go to UCFY and they will help you with that. These are just some important dates that you will want to remember. Midterm grades are going to be posted October 22nd by 9 a.m. November 6th at 4:30 p.m. is the last day to drop a course or resign from the university. I believe because of the hurricane, though, that was pushed back to November 9th. But double check the academic calendar. There's a link there at the bottom. Thanksgiving break is November 25th from 12:30 p.m. until November 30th. The last day of classes are going to be December 5th at 10. Finals are December 7th through the 12th. And then December 5th at 4:30 is the payment deadline for spring 2020. Often if you have not paid by that time, whatever courses you may have scheduled may end up getting purged. So make sure that you make your payment deadline. This is a list of the ERC courses that are going to be offered in the spring. There's a couple of sections of each: Chem 1202, Math 1550, 1552, and Physics. This lists how many seats are available in each course, the instructor's name, the time, days of the week, and the location. This is just a reminder when you're scheduling your general education courses that you'll see outlined on your flowchart that each major is going to have its own requirements. So for example, for the art gen ed, any art course will count that will fall under the general education arts. That's going to be in the catalog. So in order to know which art course you can take, you're going to have to go to the general education component requirement in the LSU catalog, and then you click on art, and it will show you all the courses that they allow to count as a gen ed requirement. It can't just be any art course. The same goes for humanities and social sciences, but for each of the majors, you'll see that some of the majors require very specific humanities. So construction management and industrial engineering require specifically CMST 1061 or 2060. Computer science requires the same, but also in English humanities, and then you get to choose one more to be flexible. Mechanical engineering is one of the least flexible. You will have to take a philosophy course, a communication studies course, or foreign language, and then you get to have some flexibility with one of your humanities. And the same goes for the social sciences. So just look through this and see which one your major is, and that way you know which gen ed to schedule. This will also be outlined on your flowchart. You'll notice on a lot of your flowcharts that there is a life science requirement, but when you go to the gen ed electives in the catalog, you won't see the words life science. You're going to end up having to click on the link that says natural sciences, and when you click on that, it'll tell you that all of the life sciences will have an asterisk next to it. So if you have the flexibility to choose any life science, that's what you're going to have to look for. But if you are specifically a BE, Chemie, or EVEG major, they do require Biology 1201. IE requires 1001 or 1201. Construction Management requires Environmental Science 1126. And computer science majors have to do a sequence. This is one of those sections where you have to have a C or better in the first part of the sequence, so that's something to make sure you ask your faculty advisor about if you're unsure how that works. So we thought we would put some frequently asked questions up here to make sure that we can answer things that have been really important to other students in the past. One is, will I have to move out of Spruce Hall if I don't have any ERC classes on my schedule? The answer is no, you're not going to have to move out. We do highly encourage you to be in at least 2, but sometimes, especially now, with the flexibility of courses being online, it's not always working out that way. Will I have to move out of Spruce if I change my major to a non-engineering major? No, as long as you are still a freshman, you will not have to move out of Spruce Hall. Students in the Honors College can take 1 ERC course and 1 honors course. You will only take the ERC courses that are needed for your major. For example, construction management majors do not need to take chemistry or math 1552. And then Ms. Arlen will schedule your ERC courses for you, and then you will be able to schedule the rest of your classes on your own through your MyLSU account whenever your priority is up. Just a little bit more information for you. You will need to make sure that you complete the My Student Body. It's mandatory or you're not going to be able to schedule. The deadline is October 20th. If you happen to also be stressing out about midterms, you can also go to UCAC, the Center for Academic Success, and they have some study tools that they can offer you to help you out through this season. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. Now you can go into your breakout session with your peer mentor. You can ask any questions you might have. And again, if they don't have the answers for you, they can either reach out to one of us or you can reach out to one of us after today at one of our emails, or you can reach out to the College of Engineering and they will assign you to your counselor. Best of luck to you tonight.